Legend of Bigfoot is a story known by many, but its origins are known by few. The public is divided on this myth, stretching the line between imagination and reality, with evidence supporting both sides. However, much evidence has come to light in recent years, ultimately proving this urban legend to be false. This is the story of Bigfoot. To prove the legend of Bigfoot as false, we must first understand the origins of the story. While origins of Bigfoot stretch back hundreds of years, with many reporting the sight of tall, hairy men in woods, the first true recollection of this story is in 1929, when an Indian teacher named J.W. Burns published a collection of stories titled Introducing BC's Hairy Giants, a collection of strange tales about British Columbia's wild men as told by those who say they have seen them. This was published in a magazine. Shortly thereafter, on July 16, 1924, an article was published in another magazine. This story covered a group of gold miners who encountered a group of gorilla men near their cabin in the woods. One of the men claimed that he had shot one of the creatures, but no creature was ever found. The men fled the area the following morning. The U.S. National Park Service investigated the site, found no compelling evidence of the event, and it concluded that it was fiction. Multiple years passed after this, and while the occasional story of a gorilla man or Bigfoot walking in the woods would surface, most of them were deemed false, and these stories were few and far between. However, in 1970, one thing changed: the rise of modern media. Television, radio, and the ability to record camera footage had changed the entirety of the legend of Bigfoot. New camera footage and images were surfacing what seemed to be every day, and self-proclaimed Bigfoot experts were all the rage on national television.
The Sheriff's Office is sharing safety tips on social media to protect yourself from, Bigfoot.
As for whether there really is a Bigfoot anywhere else, we're just going to say amateur Sasquatch seekers always hope something big's afoot.
Seriously, look how big it is. I don't think it is a human.
The warning says they are coming out of the high country to feed near the Kern River. They recommend not running from or chasing Bigfoot, maybe because it doesn't exist.
I think it's a Sasquatch.
It was a bluebird January morning here in the foothills of northeast Provo when a group of guys saw a figure on the mountain that looked like something they've never seen before.
Now, the public knew. The legend of Bigfoot left the random magazine articles and became a household name. Everyone from every end of America knew who Bigfoot was. There was just one issue with the entire scenario. The legend of Bigfoot was fiction. With Bigfoot being a common name, everyone, from credited scientists to the average person, started looking into the validity of this story. And what they found was not all that surprising. These myths were false. In a 1996 USA Today article, Washington State zoologist John Crane said, "There is no such thing as Bigfoot. No data other than the material that's clearly been fabricated has ever been presented." I'd like to highlight that part of that quote that mentions fabricated evidence. With Bigfoot being such a large-spread urban legend, many felt the need to add to it. Take a look at one example.
Surprise, surprise, some Bigfoot sightings in Wintergreen have been debunked. According to police, it was someone who was having a laugh and wanted to, quote, create a little light-hearted conversation. As for whether there really is a Bigfoot anywhere else, we're just going to say amateur Sasquatch seekers always hope something big's afoot.
This is not the only case of a fake Bigfoot. Many times, people, for a laugh, would dress up as Bigfoot and go to popular occasions for him to be sighted, perpetuating the myths in those towns further. But the plot deepens. With people starting to believe they saw Bigfoot, they would misinterpret other things as Bigfoot as well. For example, something else walking in the woods or captured on a camera may be misinterpreted as Bigfoot. With all those photos, there's one consistent trend. All of them are pretty lousy quality. Paleontologist Darren Naish states in a 2016 article that if Bigfoot existed, an abundance of clear evidence would also exist, especially in the day and age of modern technology and pocket cameras. Here's how the evidence was summarized. If Bigfoot existed, so would constant reports of uniform vocalizations throughout North America. If Bigfoot existed, so would many tracks that would be easy for experts to find. And finally, if Bigfoot existed, an abundance of Bigfoot DNA would already have been found. There's a lot of information here, so let's break it down and make it simple. For the first point, consistency. There was no definite, consistent evidence of a true Bigfoot sighting. We rely on blurry images that don't seem to relate to any others, and maps of sightings that seem to be around tourist attractions and other uncoordinated spots. The second point, animal tracks. If an animal were to walk in woods or in snow, it would leave some sort of tracks behind. There's only been one documented case of what could have been Bigfoot tracks at a construction site, but this was later proved to be false. And number 3, DNA. If Bigfoot existed, lots of his DNA would have been found, especially if he's been here for a long time. This could have been found through hair, or other animals, or anything else they might find. So what can we make of all of this? Scientific claims proving against the existence of Bigfoot. People coming out and saying that the evidence they had found is false. Fake Bigfoots, poor images, and inconsistent evidence. There seems to be one clear answer to me, and obviously that is that the legend is false. But who knows? Maybe the only way to know is if you go see for yourself.